They walk in that room, they become yours. And you got this energy inside your soul that says, I am the number one determinant of the success or failure of my students. Hey, y'all, when you get back, kick some butt. I'll see you in the winner's circle, celebrating your victory. Let's go. 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 Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, everybody. And we are live. Let me fix this real quick. I got all this new stuff and I'm not right yet. Not right. So let me fix this. Matter of fact, I'll fix it in a minute. Good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 172 of the AP and New Principals Academy. Let me see who's in the building. We got, where we at here? We got a lot of y'all here. Lysandra Brackens, as a matter of fact, hit that share button, hit that retweet, what they call it, repost now. It's called X, right? Repost button, repost on LinkedIn and all that other stuff. Just let folks know we here. Lysandra Brackens, Takesha High is in the building. Rodney Richardson is here. Khadijah De Silva is in the building. Grace Castaneda. Dr. Rella Hicks is in the building. 2 is in the building from Cincy. We got Takesha Truesdale, Dr. Steph Edwards, Marsha Post, Dr. Charlene Williams, Golfar WT, my man, Vanessa Zeskin, Ronald Pugh, Principal Otis Kitchen II. Principal Sherrod Laws is in the building. Good to see you, sir. Glad you're doing well. We got Dr. Sheikah Houston, just was on with Principal Dr. Tammy Taylor a few minutes ago. Good to see you, and always phenomenal, amazing information. We got Stacy L. Joy in the building. Stephanie Gooden, Principal Karen Fletcher, Darnell McElveen is in the building. Hotep up there in Minneapolis. We got Jacqueline Harriet in the building, Nova Scotia. I see you in a few weeks. We got Kathy Lynn Gregory, Principal McKeever Jeter. Arcella Austri is in the building. Lou Saunders is in the building. Hit that retweet, hit that repost. Let them know. Hit that share button. Let them know. Tag somebody. Let them know we are here. We got, where we at here? This thing jumped, man. We had Lily Lanier is in the building. Dr. Principal Tammy Taylor is in the building. As I just said, create and educate, always rocking the house, rocking the building on Saturday mornings at 10:30 Eastern time. We got Tiffany Curry in the building. Jacqueline Williams, I don't know if I said Jacqueline or not, but I say it again. Melissa Jones Chunu is in the building. Darlene Pettit, good morning to you. We got my wife, the queen of this here castle I live in. It's not a castle, though. Somebody will run with that, right? Queen of the crib. We got Kimberly Broughton Kafele in the building. Somebody say Kafele living like a castle. Nah, man. I live in the equivalent of a room in a castle, man. My man, Dr. Demetrius Scott's in the building. Darlene Pettit's in the building. Trelana Jones is in the building. Tony McClenny. Tiandra Eros is in the building. Wayne Jackson, Marjorie S. Pitt, Lanisha Evans Hostler is in the building. Angela Jones, I see you in the building. From Florida to Illinois, has me messed up in the new time. Yeah, I can understand that. Lynette Wilson's in the building. D. Walker, I'm getting ready to get it started. September. Devon Vance Daniels, she said, I've been on here all year now. You should get it right by now. Yolanda McKinney's in the building. Deltra Brady Pulliam is in the building. Let's see. I'm getting ready to get it started, y'all. I see MPA Jaguars in the building. That's my man, Josh Tovar. I should say Principal Josh Tovar. He's in the building. Lisa B. Woods Herman is in the building. Muriel No Nonsense is here. And I think I'm going to cap it off here. We got Lamar Roberts out here in Jersey. Stacy Joseph, but I want to, I see my man Sean Woodley, man. He's doing big things. If y'all don't know Sean Woodley, it says Sean Dow Woodley. Check him out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those. He's doing big things. We had the opportunity to share a stage, not this past week, but the week before. And it was great to just be in one another's presence. So that's Sean Woodley. And then I see Karima Anque out here in Jersey. She's in the building. Let me cap it off with, who did I just see? I saw somebody really familiar, and I can't find them now. I was going to end with this person, and I can't find them. I can't find you. Where you at? Where you at? Oh, here it is. Donna Sherrigan is in the building. Wanted to close it out with Donna. Got to be in her presence in Jacksonville a few weeks ago at the Black Educators Rock Conference. So Donna Scherer, she's big time with us, man. All them shares and tags and so forth, just to keep folks that I can't reach and you don't reach in the mix. So with that said, y'all, that's it. Let me get it started. Let me up my energy and say to you all, good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 172 of the AP and New Principals Academy, formerly known as the virtual AP Leadership Academy. Why'd I change it for someone who may not know about it? Because folks were getting jobs, man, and they were coming up to me like, Kafele, man, the academy, the interview videos you have, I'm a principal now. I used to watch you. I mean, I'm going all over the country over the summer. I used to watch you. I said, used to? What happened? Well, I'm a principal now. And this ain't relevant no more. So I went right to the lab, man. When I say lab, the nearest place to sit down in the convention center, and literally rebranded in a convention center. I said, this is not called the virtual AP Leadership Academy anymore, effective immediately. This is the AP and New Principals Academy, because them new principals, and how am I defining new principals? Your first, second, third, fourth, and fifth year. How about that? Years 1 through 5, you still new, because there's so much to learn in this thing, right? So now I got everybody, the ones who's in years 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know whether or not we relevant, and how could we not be? We're talking leadership, right? We're talking about all things that come up under leadership, such as today's topic. Today's topic is not necessarily leadership, but when we talk about the empowerment of Black girls, when we talk about I define me, when we talk about own your now, when we talk about what's in your cup, we talking about leadership. So whatever it is, you better stay locked in, man. I don't mean to brag. I don't mean to boast. I don't mean to pat myself on my back, but I ain't seen nothing like this, man. And I know what's out there. I know what's out there for leaders. But this here, especially on a Saturday morning. So with that said, I got a question for you. My same question. I ain't never going to change that question. Hey, y'all, how you feel? That's my question. How you feel, right? And I mean, if someone was to say right now in the chat, I'm feeling a little down. I'm feeling a little depressed. I'm feeling a little discouraged. I'm feeling a little frustrated. I ain't mad at you, because that's life. That's what it is. The question is, how are you going to respond to that? That's the question, right? I have my days. I'm not gonna lie. I have my days. You're gonna have them days. Circumstances, life happens. So you're going to feel down sometime. You're going to feel frustrated sometime. You're going to feel discouraged sometime. You're going to feel like giving up on your dreams sometime. I get it. But again, what's key is how you respond to that, how you react to that. So when I have it, I just got to go within deep. I got to get the mirror. I got to go within deep, because how I'm feeling in the moment does not define me. That's what my guest's going to talk about. That don't define me. That's just how I feel temporarily. right? But that ain't who I am. So as I go deep with the mirror, go deep into myself and remind myself who the hell I am, right? Now I'm able to get back to where I am. And let me tell you where I am right now. I'm on fire! Woo! Woo! Oh! That's how I'm feeling, man. Woo! I had to get that out, man. Woo! I know my wife, man. She like, yo, he bugging. And I know my mother probably turned the volume down, right? So, yo, man, hit me up with some fire, y'all. Oh, I see my Aunt Judy. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Judy. You say he tripping, man. Listen, it's important, man. And let me tell you something else. Don't none of y'all see me like this in person. This is not what I bring on them platforms. But I'm home right now. And see, when I'm in person, it's people there. They just there because they got to be there. They didn't like, oh, I can't wait to see Principal Kafele, right? Or I'm eager to hear Principal Kafele today. They there because they got to be there. If it's a conference and I'm one of the keynoters, well, they're going to come to the general session. But Saturday, y'all choose this, man. Ain't nobody say you got to be at the AP and New Principals Academy. You made a decision. You said, I want to be here this morning with Kafele and his guests. So just that alone keeps me on fire. Woo! Let's go. Woo! I'm sweating, y'all. But I'm good, man. Hey, Mom, I know you watching, man. I'm good, man. My mother be like, I can't watch this stuff when you do that, man. My wife be like, you got to bring it down. All right, y'all, listen, real quick. I actually have a monologue. Listen, y'all, listen. I'm going to do this quick. It's called, What Attitude Are You Bringing to the 2023-24 school year? Right? Once again, what attitude are you bringing to the 2023-24 school year? I know some of y'all like, yo, don't talk about that just yet because it's only August 12th, right? That's the all up here, the Northeast and all that. But down south and other places, y'all in it. You in there. Some of y'all going back this week. You in it. And I'm just asking you very quickly, what's the attitude you're going to bring? Now, I know the obvious answer. You say, I'm going to keep it up here. I'm going to keep it 100, right? I'm coming in fired up. I'm coming there with new energy, new excitement, new enthusiasm, new passion for this work. I get it. But, I wrote this book, man, The Assistant Principal Identity, Protecting Your Leadership Mindset, Fervor, and Authenticity. So I'm asking you, okay, I know you got the right attitude now, but how and will you protect it? See, you got to protect it because there are going to be things coming your way, coming from all different directions, and they could have deep adverse implications for this attitude that you have right now that is so positive. So you have to have safeguards up. You got to have shields up. You got to protect it as if you were protecting your personal property, as if you were protecting your family, as you were protecting yourself. You have to protect your attitude. And one of the best ways of protecting your attitude is to invest in this little 50-cent mirror, right? And remind yourself every day of your own authenticity. Remind yourself every day of your own definition, as Tracy McGhee is going to talk about. Remind yourself of how you have defined you, so that when the stuff is coming at you, you're not allowing it to compromise your attitude. Your attitude cannot be compromised. Your attitude has to remain what it is right now while growing and growing and growing, but you can't let anything extinguish it. You can't let anything douse it. So I'm going to end that right there. Listen, y'all, to the first timers on here, welcome. Right? Don't let this be your last time. I know some of you, every week I got new guests, and they're people that are their friends, their family, their fans and followers, and they come on and check them out. But now that you're here, don't let this be your last. We are 172 weeks strong. This is week number 172 consecutive, by the way. I haven't missed a week, right? Since the first Saturday in May 2020, I have not missed a week because I build my weekend life around this, right? So this always comes first, nothing else, right? So here we are. Welcome to the first timers. You know, I got these two new joints. I mean, I got this one new joint, the Assistant Principal Identity, which I just showed you. Go to Amazon and get yourself a copy. And then this book is the companion, the Assistant Principal 50. This is actually the best-selling book I've ever written. But I think that's for obvious reasons. The Assistant Principal 50, Critical Questions for Meaningful Leadership and Professional Growth. So these two coincide with the Academy. But now that I have rebranded the Principal 50, and is my school a better school because I lead it? So these are the books for the principal, but in this case, the new principal. So if you don't have a copy, get yourself a copy. So get all four. Then I got 5 teacher books out there on Amazon as well. Get them all. Just put my name in the search engine and get all them books. Get them all. There's my Aunt G. She said he's hot. That's right, man. I'm on fire. Hey, y'all, be sure to like and follow the Virtual AP Leadership Academy Facebook page, because I'm going to get back to writing my weekly commentaries the first Saturday in September. I had to take a little hiatus because I just needed to do some me time instead of getting up on Sundays and writing, because I write other things, right? So that'll be coming. And then make sure that you subscribe. Hit that little red button. Subscribe to the virtual. No, not the virtual. I'm saying that old language. The AP and New Principals Academy. Facebook, and then YouTube. Subscribe to it. I think we're gonna hit 19,000 subscribers today, because it's like right there at the cusp. So yeah, appreciate that, Tracy. We're gonna hit 19,000 subscribers today. I think, if not today, tomorrow. But my goal is 20,000, and then we go from there, 25,000. So make sure you subscribe, right? Be a part of the family. And then that should do it for me. I got a guest in the building. And as I always do, and I'm still playing with this screen, but we're gonna get it right in a second. And we're talking about, I kind of combine two things, Black girl empowerment. But before I even get to that, something called I Define Me, and Tracy will break all that stuff down. But let me get her on up here now. We got in the building Tracy Berry McGhee, St. Louis, in the building. Good morning. 172, man, isn't that something?
Yes.
Yeah, man. You know, before I brought you up, Tracy, when we talked offline, I thought about that, and I said, that's unbelievable. You know, 172 and haven't missed, because I came and sat in this chair and I kind of looked at my shelves and I said, how you do this 172 times? Because it's not like you come on here winging it, you know, and you know that from doing your own show or shows. It's a lot of planning that's involved, and then you got your own life still, and then, you know, so it amazes me that I've sat here or other places on a Saturday and done this 172 times. So I'm glad you're here. You should have been here a lot sooner than 172, but here we are. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to be here. It is. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, thanks for
You're doing good work.
I appreciate you. Nigga, this is my guy right here, my man, Dr. Vincent Stallings. I always gotta highlight him. Hey, let me share with y'all who Tracy Berry McGhee is. MED LPC. Let me tell you who she is. Tracy Berry McGhee is the founder of the I Define Me movement, in parentheses, Sister Keeper Empowerment Center, 5013C, established 2002 in her basement in St. Louis, Missouri. Serving over, you know, is it 2,500 or 1,000? I should have asked you that off mic.
25,000, over 25,000.
25,000 girls with presence, local, nationally, and globally. She's an empowerista. That's NISTA, empowerista for girls, a licensed therapist, author, mentor, an international motivational speaker for women and teen girls, and the producer, host, and creator of a wellness show called the Own Your Now Show. A St. Louis, Missouri native and a social entrepreneur, she travels the country speaking about mental health, restorative justice, relational aggression, social emotional learning, self awareness, body image, anti bullying, literacy, celebrating sisterhood, and how to make a difference in your community. You might want to hit that share button, somebody. You might want to hit that retweet. I got a powerhouse here today. She's the author of various SEL, social emotional learning, poetry-based curricula for girls, kindergarten, KG through 12, kindergarten through 12, books and affirmation cards. Sister Keeper Poetry for the Soul. I'm a keeper, reaching the essence of development. I define me, girl. Own your now for women. What's in your cup? Affirmation. That's a whole lot.
It is.
Tracy is an NAACP community hero, 46 Image Award winner, also a member of the American Counseling Association, the Alliance of Black Mental Health Professionals, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, St.
Right.
Louis Metropolitan Alumni Chapter. She is also a nonviolence ambassador for the King Center and a member of the St. Louis or STL Black Authors of Children's Literature, a wife, mother of three, coffee and sunflower lover, and her motto, I define me.
That's it. That's it.
Powerful story, powerful story. Hey, somebody, let them know we're here. I got
Yeah.
all the preliminaries completed, and now we ready to jump into it. Tracy, as I ask all my guests, and we got guests of various different titles and capacities, but here you are, thinking about everything that it just listed that you do within the work you do. Who is Tracy Berry McGhee, and what keeps you motivated to do the work that you do?
Oh my goodness. So first off, I need to say thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm gonna take it with me, y'all. Look, I'm number 172. Okay. I feel like I'm on The Voice, all right? And I got the golden ticket. It's an honor to be in your space and your presence and all of the people that are listening in that they value what they do. And that makes a difference. When you ask that question, it's very layered. I am a little girl from St. Louis, Missouri on the west side, product of teen moms who defined my dreams to make it a reality for other little girls that look like me. And that's really important to me. I feel like I'm a cycle breaker. Most importantly, I'm a wife and a mother of 3 adult children who are also breaking the cycle. And every single day, I look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I say, I define me and how can I make a difference? And that's important because I cannot leave with my cup empty. I need to leave with it overflowing because I'm giving back. So I thank you for this opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, I thank you. Your bio indicated that you have a wellness television show
Yes.
called Own Your Now, right? Which you produce, host, create. And what I want to ask you, that language, own your now, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Break that down for us.
Well, so owning your now really means being in the moment. And during the pandemic, that was one of the things that I think kind of settled us into really owning our now. Like we were in spaces that we could move, we had to be still. A lot was happening in our communities, local, national, and globally. We all were really in the same space. And for me, as a licensed therapist, during that time frame, I've told a lot of people know I lost my mother and I lost my father. And regardless of how you see the pandemic, it was real for me. And the things that were happening in our communities were real. And so I really wanted a space for people to just come together and be still and sip in your cup. Like when I say sip, I mean like literally is your cup full? And so own and now is the same word. Kafele, literally, own and now is the same word. And
Yeah,
it's a mindfulness tool of being in the moment and being still so you can listen to yourself and reflect and define or redefine what it is that you choose to do. And so as a therapist, I knew my cup was empty. I was grieving. And so I went out on social media and started asking everybody what's in your cup and giving them affirmation words to fill it up. And we all started responding because we all were in the same space. And that doesn't happen often, but it allowed us to embrace change. And
Yeah.
that's how you embrace change, by owning your now.
I love it. And listening to you, and I just put someone on the screen. I took it off, but it's somewhere. It's buried now. But he was from Broward County, Florida. And I spoke there Monday. It was
Mhm.
900 administrators, and that means there was just a plethora of different categories of leadership in the room. So when I think about everything you just said, being in the moment and owning that moment, owning that now. I found myself in that space, Tracy, in real time while I
Yes.
was on that stage, but then afterwards as I was driving back to the airport. And here's why. I questioned myself because see, there were principals in the room, there were assistant principals, but then you had all these different layers of central office in the room. And as I'm speaking, I'm asking myself, am I addressing all of them? Or am I
Mhm.
just talking to the 200 principals? See, it's 200 principals, but then you got 700 other people in there, and I kept questioning myself, and I would make myself make sure that I remain relevant for everybody in the room, right? So it was me literally doing what you just said, and this is why I want to highlight it. I'm standing there trying to own my now,
Yes.
and what am I doing with it? Right? I'm being in the moment right now to make sure that this diverse audience, as opposed to an audience of building level administrators, are
Right.
able to hear me. So the throughout, and I'm gonna stop and get back to you, but throughout, I'm just making that point. I'm saying I think they hear me. I think they hear me because it wasn't like an amen crowd. I'm in Florida,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's still, the
Yeah.
vibe is different down there these days. So it was more like they were just listening. But as
Yeah.
soon as I hit my last word, instant standing ovation. I said, okay, they
Yeah.
heard me. They
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
me. They
Not
heard me.
only that, I think if this, because you go to so many different places, this was the place where the superintendent came and did the selfie, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
actually
That
wasn't a
too.
selfie. So there's a difference between, and I coined this with our girls, is that our girls do selfies. Oftentimes we do wheezies, but
Mhm.
he did a ussy.
He did
He
a
came
us.
up there and he invited everybody to be a part of the moment
Yeah.
because he felt it and he knew they felt it. That was powerful. That was powerful.
It was, and it was so unusual because when I saw him walking on that stage and he was kind of running, I'm like, Where's this going?" I didn't know. And then he pulled out the camera. Then I rolled with him. I knew exactly what it was. But yeah, that was, I've never experienced that.
That's it.
So yeah, and that just brings it all home for me, full circle. Own your now. So here's my question with all that. How difficult then, and leaders out here, fam out here watching, I want y'all to hear this one. How difficult then is it to own your now during difficult, stressful, and overwhelming times?
Well, the thing about it is, it's not as difficult when you know who you are and you know who you belong to, number one. But when we're talking about our girls in this time, it's very difficult because you have all these isms, okay? You have television, you
Yeah,
have social media, you have music, videos, and the thing about it is we used to live in a time where the TV would go off at a certain time and that screen would come across and it would just go shh. And
yeah,
maybe someone would say, "Do you know where your children are?" Right? But
yeah,
now our kids are watching television 24/7 and they're on their phones. And it's difficult for our girls, for women, for us as a people to really truly say, "Who am I?" and be okay with that. It's a struggle. But the more that we tune into each other, the more we come back together and understand what it looks like when we can support and believe and have courageous conversations with each other, then we can make some moves. And that starts just really simply in the home. I mean, you're in your home, I'm in my office. We all have these conversations with each other, but Kafele, even our kids, we don't even have family style dining. We don't come together at the table and talk about things. There's a television in the kitchen now. There's laptops and iPads and phones, and it's a struggle to just put it down and say, "Hey, who are you? What's going on today? How are things going? And let's talk about this and cut out the outside influences."
Yeah. Wow. Tracy, there's an administrator, whether it be an AP or a new principal that's watching right now live or will catch us later on video. And they had a rough year last year. We all know these folks. They're out here because this is a tough business, right? So there's someone out there that had a tough year, doesn't want the summer to end or didn't want the summer to end, and just unsure if this is still what I want to do. Once upon a time ago it was, but now just the challenges of being this AP, the challenges of being this principal, with all this stress, with all this frustration, all this discouragement, all this disappointment, etc. So I want you to speak to this person, because I'm sure this person is watching right now. Speak to this person. How does this person claim and own their now?
Well, you know what? First off, I would say I'm gonna take off my glasses on this one. You really need to be truly sure that what you're doing is not for the check. We already know it's not for the check, right? But the other thing is, regardless of what happened in the past, are you still in it right now in the present? And if you are, understand that this is life work, and you got to have the growth mindset, because oftentimes I was speaking in a school district last week, and I asked everybody, like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? If you don't remember your kindergarten teacher, then they suck flat out,
Yeah.
because we are not working with a product. We're working with the people,
Yeah.
kids who look to you to be their everything every single day. Like, our schools should be our safe space. And if you are questioning it just a little bit, find another place to go. I mean, because you can't just, like, I don't know if I want to do this. I really want you to know that this is where you are in this moment, and figure out that thing. And oftentimes we're not going to see the reward like tomorrow or next month or even at the end of the school year. The kids that you impacted last year, they may not come back to you for 20 years, but as long as you did your best, that's one of the 4 agreements. Like, as long as you did your best, that's all that anybody asks. But if you don't feel like you can do your best, then I suggest you find somewhere else to go, because we need to have a growth mindset for our kids to have a growth mindset. And that's the only way you're going to own your now. That's the only way you're going to define the moment. And that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a television show, and tell the folks real quick how they can connect with you to be able to see that.
You can go to YouTube or Facebook. It's called Own Your Now Show. Probably Oprah might come up first, and that's cool, because we'll probably be there one day soon. But it's Own Your Now Show, and it's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. As we always say, please subscribe. Please push that like button. It's all about wellness. I always ask everybody, what's in your cup? Because I want you to stay woke. My acronym for woke is about wellness, opportunity, knowledge, and empowerment.
Mm.
And I don't want to spread negativity. I don't have time for negativity. I know that hurt people, and negativity breeds negativity. And I'm about positivity. As you said in my intro, I feel like maybe I would have been a barista if I didn't have a degree and I didn't find my purpose. But I'm an empowerista. I just want to empower our communities, local, national, and globally, to be our best selves.
Love it. So I watched it a few times, and you had several times actually, and you had my daughter on once, and
Yes.
my daughter Cabria going back a couple years ago. But one of the
Yes.
things that you asked to open up the show is what's in your cup, right? What's in your cup? And you asked the guests that. You and your co-host talk about that. So I want to ask you, what does that mean? Like, what's in your cup? What do you mean by that when you ask that question?
Well, so the theory behind the what's in your cup is, when I was growing up, like I said, my parents were teen moms and dads, and my mom always talked about breaking the cycle, right? And my mom used to drink coffee. She would go to work every single day for 35 years at a factory, to make sure she could support me. And she would wake up in the morning and drink her coffee, you know. And then me and my grandmother and everybody in our family, we would get together and just talk and ask everybody, like, what's in your cup? For me, um, I decided, my mom said I couldn't drink coffee, Kafele, until I was grown. So when she would leave to go to work, I was that latchkey kid. I would run back up in the bathroom and drink the rest of her coffee. And I'm like, I'm strong now, right? But I drink my coffee black, no sugar, no cream. But it's a metaphor for me making sure that my cup is consistently full. And I'm responsible for that. Nobody else but me. And so when I ask everybody what's in your cup, I'm asking you, like, what are you filling your cup up with?
Mm.
Like, are you putting that playlist on? Are you getting up in the morning and playing Wake Up Everybody by, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes? Like, what is your playlist song? What is your affirmation word? What is your scripture? Like, what are you filling up your cup with? Because we need to do that for ourselves before we can be that for anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's the premise of it. And not only that, what is your purpose? Like your daughter, not only do we talk about the things and the brand and her concept, I was ordering everything and using all the products because we have to make sure we support each other. So that's the key, is how do we fill up our cups so that we can go into the workplace, into the educational spaces, into our cultures and our climates with our cups full instead of going in empty.
I love it. Instead of going in empty. So I'm gonna put you on the spot then, and I don't really think this is on the spot. Tracy, what's in your cup?
Well, today, literally, I'm drinking my coffee black, no sugar, no cream. But what fills up my cup most importantly now is truly me realizing that I'm doing life work. There was a time when we always say that I was doing, that it was important to have work-life balance, right? Everybody was saying, I multitask, I do this, I do that. It's all about work-life balance. Well, for me, it's about life work. It's about empowering our girls and empowering our women for us to see that we're not messy, that the people on my timeline have purpose, that I'm okay with deleting people in my life if they don't allow me to fulfill my cup, to balance things with my husband, with my children, with my grandchildren, but to also know that everything that I do is intentional. My yes is not a yes to everything. I can't be everybody and I don't need to be in every space. But I know that what is for me is divine purpose and that's where I'm supposed to be. And so I'm okay with saying no, absolutely, period. Like no is a full statement. That's true. And we're better together. So there's no need for us to hold content just for us. We have to spread it. And that's how my cup is full. That's how I'm able to lay down every night and start over again. And I do a lot of things, but it doesn't feel like work because I'm on assignment, Kafele, just like everybody else is or should be.
Yeah, on assignment. As I was putting this agenda together, and then I thought about my own cup. And I think that the contents or the ingredients of my cup, they change in my different capacities. But right now, in real time, as I see Principal Mary Teresa Fulp in the building, got to highlight her because she's a former guest in the Alaska Principal of the Year, state of Alaska. But I think about my cup in real time, Tracy, like right now while I'm on this platform. And as I was putting this together and thinking about it, I said, in terms of what's in my cup for this platform is to be the best version of myself, but more so to put forth a product that is superior, that enables the folks who tune in to ultimately become or evolve into their best self.
Yes.
So that's what's in my cup right now, right in real time. I want this platform to impact the globe, right? So therefore I gotta put the work in every week in order for this to be that which I conceptualize it could be, right? So I'm sharing that publicly because I've never done it before, because I wanted to resonate with people out there in terms of the work that you all do when you step into your buildings, when you step into your work, that within your cup is the best you in
That's
that
it.
moment, and then you can specify it as need be. But I love it. So my question then, Tracy, what happens when the cup is empty? How does one replenish it?
Yeah, that's it's a loaded question because I think it's important that you look at the community and the people that you're around. That's a sister right there as well, boss educator. We just
Yeah,
started connecting, and I love that we have created a space for us all to come together. Um, you made the statement of how do we do that? I think it's valuable that we communicate with each other. So oftentimes we're in spaces and buildings where we talk at each other and not to each other. And we feel like we're going to take it all on by ourselves. For me, I need a team. I need people that I can lean on. I'm not just, I mean, I know the tagline is I define me, but it's not all about me. So I think the biggest piece is filling up your cup by bringing other people in that can support you. Adrienne Blake Moore, I have a full team of young women, and I say young women because they help me. They give me ideas that I didn't think of. I mean, when you're over 50, you can't hold everything up here. So I'm
mhm,
always journaling and keeping things, but I also need keepers around me. And so one of the things that we branded is Sister Keeper, and the sister is Sista Keeper
mhm,
Kafele, because the
mhm.
ER means that you might have biological sisters that have your back, but everybody does not have a biological sister. But
Yeah,
the A, it means we're all sisters.
yeah,
Black, white, tall, short, thick or thin, hazelnut blend. Just open up that multicultural Crayola box. If you find your color, that means you're a sister or a brother, right? So you have to depend on each other
yeah,
for our cups to constantly be full. We have to get back to the village concept. And we would go walk in our communities, and me and my husband would talk about how we know the neighbor's dog, we know the neighbor's car, but do you know your neighbor? Like,
yeah,
are we really connecting with each other? And
yeah,
until we do that, our cups will be empty because we cannot do this thing by ourselves. So, as an educator, if you don't have a mentor or a book or somebody or this Saturday academy that you can pour into, and this right here, oh my God, this is free.
yeah.
This is free. Okay. If you're not filling up your cup, what's wrong with you?
I love it. I love it. Hey Tracy, what about if the cup is comprised of negative and counterproductive thinking?
That's when you got to shift it. You got to be the leader that they need to see. You need to say, I'm not here for that. You need to be able to shut people down. And I think it's important because we're so used to just sitting in the midst. I mean, I work with girls, okay? So some girls tell me, Miss T, I like messy. I like mess. I like to sit in it. But it will be so toxic that it will kill you. And
Mm,
so it's okay for you to say, this space does not fill up my cup. I need to transfer and go somewhere else. And I need to pour into my cup by making sure that I'm getting the work that I'm getting, paying for the conferences and getting the degrees. If you feel like you need to go back to school so that you can go somewhere else or do what you need to do, then you need to do that. But don't sit in it. Don't. It will kill you if you sit in a space that does not fill up your cup. And sometimes we just like, I'm just gonna sit in this. I'll be good. Or we'll talk about each other. No, be about it. Don't talk about it. And definitely don't talk about each other. That's the most toxic space you can be in. So I shut it down. I don't even stand in a space next to someone because I feel like energy is everything. So if your essence energy isn't positive, I ain't got time for you. I'm moving on.
wow.
Period.
Yeah, listen, I've said this on this platform before. I'm gonna say it again because I have a different context now. And you just said, it's toxic when you're in a place that doesn't fill up your cup, right? It kills you when you're in a place that doesn't fill up your cup. Sometimes people ask me, why did you lead 4 different schools, right? And I said, because 2 of them did not fill my cup. I didn't use that language, but now I will, right? 2 of them did not fill my cup. So instead of staying there and dying emotionally and mentally and spiritually in that space, I bounced, which is a slang, obviously, for I left. I left. I literally I left the whole district to find
As
a
you,
place where my cup could be full. When
yes,
I wound up at Newark Tech in Newark, New Jersey, my cup was full, and we took that school to scores of 100% proficiency,
that's
right?
it. That's
Whereas
it.
where I was prior to that, it was killing me. And I may even say that literally, right? It was killing me. I didn't have that expression about my cup yet, right?
That's
So, but what was in my cup was destroying me. It was destroying me personally and it was destroying me professionally. So I left it completely and found a place that filled my cup, and I've been soaring ever since. So,
yes, that's it.
so I'm not telling somebody out there recklessly to quit your job, but I am saying, I'm just reiterating what Tracy's saying, your cup, man. You got to examine what's in it.
You do. You
In
do.
fact, let me throw a question at the fam right now. I don't use audience, y'all. Y'all know that. The fam right now, what's in your cup? Hit
That's
us
it.
up right now in the chat, y'all. What's in your cup? What's
Yeah.
in it?
You know,
Give me that quick response so I could read them, so I could read them right quick. Right?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
You hit it on the nose, man. This is family, relationships,
yes.
schools, jobs. Even if your car don't work, you're gonna get rid of it. It's gotta fill up your cup.
And Jackie Solomon, hit me up on an email, not an inbox on social media, because I seldom read that stuff. Hit me up. I'm not going to tell you my address because I'm going to see how hungry you want this answer. I'm not hard to, like what Tupac say. I ain't hard to find, right? So just find my email address, pose that same question, and I promise you I will respond. Let me see what's being said here. My cup is full at my new school. That Tyrell Key said. Yolanda McKinney said passion, purpose, joy. Jeremy said my faith is in my cup. Melissa said relationships is in her cup. Dr. Sheikah Houston said gratitude is in her cup. Terrell said I had to leave to get there. Yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to leave. I had to bounce, man. I couldn't stay there because it was going to kill me. I left that place, and the U.S. News and World Report in the new place recognized us for 3 consecutive years as one of America's best high schools. I had to get out of that toxic place. Then the Milken Family Foundation bestowed upon me the Milken Award, that $25,000 check where they recognize you as one of the top educators in the nation. But I couldn't do that in the other place. It was too toxic. I had to find a place where my cup was overflowing with joy and positivity, right? In production, right? So now in passion, so sometimes you gotta leave stuff, man, and you gotta find that place that's compatible with who you are, compatible with your authenticity. Let me get a couple more. Love, peace, and joy, Arlene said. Vanessa said, God, my community, only those who speak into my life. Let me get one more here, one or two
Yes,
more. Classroom culture
yes,
matters. Hope that things will get better in educational cultures across the nation. And I got one
yes,
more here. She said this is boss educator. She's gonna be back on by popular demand in the end of the month here. Dr. LaQuanta Nelson, in my cup, bold, optimistic, spontaneous, substantial moves, which is the acronym BOSS.
yes.
I got one more here. Dominique Price Dumerville, who I just took a pic with down in Broward County. Excitement and a promise of hope.
Oh,
Yeah, good to see you.
yes,
We got to put Gina Jeffries up. We got to put her up. Dr. Jeffries down in
that's
East
it.
St. Louis. She said, fire, peace.
It.
Yeah,
Yes, it.
we both spoke at Dr. Jeffries' school together. You had
Yes,
the
we
young
did.
ladies, I had the young men, and it was a powerful day.
It
It was
really
a
was.
powerful day.
Appreciate that.
Let
That's
me
it.
let me keep moving because I stopped and listened to the folks, and I got so much pages of stuff to ask you, man. Let's go. You got time, right? Hey, hey,
Mm-hmm.
hey, hit that share button, y'all. Hit that retweet. I wish I could get to all of these, but I read all the comments when I'm done, so I will see them. Tracy, much of your work, your writing, your speaking, the work you do centers around your motto, I define me. And I'm still going to get to the specificity of talking about Black girl empowerment, but I had all this other stuff, folks, that I wanted to talk about as well that defines a lot of Tracy's work. Talk to us about the meaning of I define me. What are you saying?
Well, one of the things that we often talk about is how society tries to define you. And when schools contact me, they're saying we got girl drama. Like, girl drama is huge. Our girls like to fight. Our girls are messy. Our girls, they're trying to define their voices. But it's important that we teach our girls that we don't need to compete, that we complete. And so when we complete, we know who we are, and we don't allow society to define us. So we understand the value of what I call the love principle. There's an acronym for that. I'll break it down if you want me to, but
Yeah.
it's a matter of us really truly knowing that I am who I am, and that when I say that I am who I am, that no one can do you but you. We literally have a whole pledge for our girls. When we say that our program is local, national, and global, every girl takes that pledge to define herself and not allow society to define you, because society's going to keep changing. I mean, like, that's just the world we live in. And you should change. You should evolve. But are you changing for the better or not? So you can't model what the people on television and radio and all of these so-called role models teach you. You have to model what you have in your homes and in your schools. And so that means that we're teaching our girls, when we say I define me, what are their values, what are their boundaries, and what are they committed to. And if they could set those goals early on in life, then they won't allow those other isms and things in life to define them. And so that's most important, that they realize that I will not allow society to define me.
So what happens if and or when my self-esteem, my self-image, whether it be personal or professional, takes a hit, and now I'm questioning myself? How do I continue to define me when I'm in that space?
Right, right. And the thing about it is that's something that happens to us even as adults.
Yeah.
We take a hit because somebody has said something about us, and in our workplace or in our homes or in our community, and we feel like we start questioning our self-worth. And so when you question your self-worth, it allows you, the whole thing about self-esteem is self. It's not based off of someone else. It should be based off of an internal voice inside of you. And so one of the things that I teach our girls is to look and listen to it's called the love principle, Kafele. And because, when we grow up, we're taught to say, I love you to everyone else. No one teaches us to say, I love me first. And when you start saying that, some people may even say you're being selfish. But we have to teach our kids and us as adults to love ourselves first. So the L in the love principle is listen. You've got to start listening to yourself. I tell the girls all the time, the spaces and the environments that you go into, there are times that you will go there and you're not supposed to be there. There are people that you're around and you're not supposed to be around those people. So you got to start listening to yourself. You got to listen to that internal voice. You got to listen to your gut. How many times have you walked into a space and you told your family, we're not going to be here long? It could even be a family's house, unfortunately. But you got to listen to yourself. And as educators, we got to start listening to the kids, because most of the girls, the communities that I go into and the schools, they tell me they ain't hearing me though. They talking at me and not to me. So we have to start listening to the girls. And if you're dealing with self-esteem issues, you got to start listening to yourself. The O in the love principle is observe. You got to start observing nonverbals. Observe the people and the spaces that you're in. There may be people in your space that are haters. There may be people in your space that are negative. There are people in your space that don't really want to be in your space. They'll tell you things. Oh, I see you, Kafele, with your little program or your little talk show or your little. There's nothing little about anything that you are doing.
Yeah.
So you got to start looking at the nonverbals. As young women, as women, as people, especially African American people, our nonverbals talk loud. It's just what we do. We use our hands to express things. We are passionate about what we do. So observe the nonverbals of the spaces and the places that you're in. When you're with the girls in the spaces, observe who sits next to who doesn't sit next to you, because that might be the time for you to step away from them to fill up your cup. And the V is validate. How are you validating yourself? How are you affirming yourself? It's important that we validate ourselves. It's important that we validate each other. And if you're not feeling validated in a space, you don't have to be a part of Little Sally's Walker circle. You can create your own circle. You can create new friends. You can delete people. You can block people. There's so many different ways that you can eliminate people who do not pour into your cup. And then the E is empower. Empower, empower, empower is a we thing. Power is great, but the EM, the we power, that's powerful when we can empower each other as well as educate. Because our kids, our girls, they're not picking up the books and reading because there's not enough cultural responsive material out here for our girls, and we need more and more and more. And so we have to make sure that we pour into them. And she's right, at an early age. You know that you got little kids that you see them in elementary, 2 years old, and they already have a personality. You know your daughter's personality. You have kids, your daughter and your son, they're not alike. So we have to make sure that we understand our kids' love languages, and we pour into them from a space of love.
Love language. You know, before I go to the specificity of talking about the young ladies, let me ask you this as relates to I define me at relative to the fam that's watching right now, them personally and the students they lead. I'm an AP in a school or principal in a school and or district, and I work in this intricate, complex system. Is it possible for me to define myself within this system of all these moving parts, as opposed to being absorbed by the system, and I become this other thing because I'm now a part of this system? How do I extricate myself from that so that I can still be me, is really what I'm asking you.
Yeah. You know, when you think about the neighborhood that you grew up in, we become a part of the neighborhood we grew up in, right? Because that's our culture. And so when you walk into a building that may not speak to you, you have to really think about your space, whether you're in an administrative role, or if you're in a classroom, or if you are developing the culture of an entire space. What is that culture supposed to look like? How do you create the culture? Because at the end of the day, you are the culture. Like, you are the culture. So as long as you're doing your work, then it will bleed over into others. You can't change it overnight. It's when I go in to work with the girls, or when people get our curriculum, they ask, what do you when will we see the turnaround? It took a long time for these kids to be where they are, so it's going to take some time to see change. So you have to consistently be the change that you want to see. And that's just not just a tagline. It's so important that you consistently be that change. I was going into a school to speak a couple of weeks ago, and you know how you read about the school and the demographics and the culture and all of that. And I realized that the average school's handbook, the parent handbook, the handbook for the school, is about 110 pages. Like, who reads that?
Right.
Really? So really what you want to do is decide, does this mission that the school stands for, or this vision, does it speak to you? If it speaks to you, then you can find that piece to make you a piece of that fabric, to totally just stay true to yourself. If you're not being authentic to who you are, it doesn't matter what building you walk into. It's going to take over, and you're going to be a part of that building. But you got to come in knowing, what do you represent? What is your culture? Who are you? Yeah. And if you don't know that piece, then the kids won't feel you, the staff won't feel you, the building won't still feel you. It is a family.
I couldn't have said it better. I love everything you just said about that. You know, just an observation before I transition. When I think about Tracy Berry McGhee's work, I think about own your now. I think about what's in your cup. I think about I define me. I see, and this is me now, I see the three comprising in part your brand.
Mhm.
And my question to you, just to kind of bring it to closure, would you say that these three items are in fact a part, if not the whole, of your brand, as in terms of your work, your business, as Tracy Berry McGhee? What would you say about those three items?
Oftentimes people say you do too much. And when you are in the work that you do, I often feel like I'm still not doing enough. Like I still have more to do, more people to connect with, more places to be so that I could get that message across. But all of those pieces are a part of me. I'm a poet. So, my poetry name is Divine T. I'm a grandma. So I'm a yaya. But I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm an educator. I'm a counselor. I'm a therapist. But I can pull all those things together and pull those things in my cup so that you can get a piece of that and your cup can be full. I feel, I have a tattoo, Psalms 139:14. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And when I decided to be an entrepreneur and do this work for myself, which I pour into my cup more than anybody could pour into me because that's my responsibility, I knew that I am a brand, but we all are brands.
Mhm.
I tell our girls, what do you stand for? Like if somebody was to click on your social media, if you put in I define me, I should pop up. But that's because I'm consistent in what I do. And so we are all brands. And we are going to constantly sow seeds. And so we're going to consistently grow. So it's not just going to be I define me. It's going to be on your now. I'm going to fill up your cup. I'm going to keep it black, no sugar, no cream, because that's who I am. But if you don't know who you are, your brand, people won't know how to describe you.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to be on fire. I know that I can tell people if you go see him, you're gonna leave with your cup full. You're gonna walk out thinking like, I know exactly where I want to be and how I want to do it. And if you don't know this, then you need to start sitting down with yourself, with your journal, with your cup of tea, coffee, tequila, wine, whatever it is that fills up your cup, the air that you breathe. Because if you're not breathing air, then you're dying. And so you have to literally say, I am not here to just exist. Our time is short and you're on assignment and you need to live your life with purpose, on purpose. And when I decided to take this walk, I literally sat and I heard God say, when I tell you to walk, run like the wind, for you are guaranteed to fly. So I'm no longer a faith walker. I call myself a FFF. I'm a frequent faith flyer. Every time I get on a plane and take a flight, I ask God to allow me to pour into somebody's cup so that they can leave with their cups full and not empty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what we do here in St. Louis. You got Dr. Daryl Diggs. Man, when I tell you, men, you are I never had Black men educators in my school. I never saw that. So for our kids to see that may not even have that in their homes, is huge.
Yeah.
And when
Absolutely.
we come together, we on fire. We on fire.
It's a lot of St. Louis folks doing a lot of big things too. I feel blessed to be connected to so many of them out here doing this work. You know, let's talk more, a little bit more specific about the young ladies, and I want to preface it by saying, there are these Black male empowerment, and I'm saying male deliberately, Black male empowerment conferences that occur all over America. They could be Black male as far as young people, Black boys. It could be Black male as far as men. It could be Black male as far as educators. But there's just a lot of Black male conferences across America. And a lot of people will say to me, they'll say, Kafele, I hear that, but what about the girls, right? What
Yes.
about the young women? What about the women? There's a need there too. In my own school, when I became a high school principal, I had the Young Men's Empowerment Program, and my senior girls, my senior young women, they confronted me like Kafele, we need something like that too, right?
Yes.
So it was when they said it that it really hit me. It didn't hit me the way that it did once they said it to me when I was hearing it from other people. So I'm saying that to say this. Um, everything I said as it relates to the need for girl conferences, women conferences, those spaces, this is the work that you do, right? So that's nothing foreign to you. So you just put this book on the screen, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I define me girl, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I define me pledge, journal, poetic expressions, and advice for girls defining their journey. And this is one of your books, I Define Me Girl. So I got a series of questions I want to ask you. And first and foremost, what is a define what is an I define me girl?
So one of the things that it's good that you asked that question, because when we first started out, our nonprofit was called Sister Keeper. It started in my basement because I grew up in a community where um, I was defined by I dealt with bullying. You know, it's like, oh, we do bullying, but it's been around forever, right? That's just what we deal with, right? And so the whole concept of people would talk about my lips. You know, Tracy, you can scoop ice cream with your lips. You got soup coolers. You know, your hair is nappy. All these different things that would impact my self-esteem. I didn't go to school in my neighborhood. I had to catch the bus to the other side of town. And so I would look at the other side of town and feel like, man, I wish I could live there versus no, I love my community that I live in. Like my community has purpose. My library has purpose. Who I am, I have purpose. And so when I started the program, I really wanted something that was culturally relevant for our girls. And so it literally started with I'm a keeper. There's one called Sister Keeper Poetry for the Soul. We have I'm a Keeper for the little girls. I Define Me for our middle school girls. And then we had the Red Book, Reaching the Essence of Development for our high school girls. Because when you live in a space where it's not just the community that may say negative things about you, oftentimes, Kafele, it can be family members. And so in that middle school space, when we go and do these girl assemblies and these conferences, our middle school girls are truly trying to define themselves, and they're seeking ways to show up and be a leader. And so oftentimes schools will say, oh yeah, I got a group of girls for you, and they'll bring in a clique. Well, we call it a clique because what happens even with boys, with girls, if you walk into a space and it's all girls that have had behavioral issues, the girls will say, what did I do? So what I Define Me Girl is all girls who we show them that they have leadership skills within them. It's prevention, intervention, and awareness. It's making sure that they understand the value of restorative justice. That if you say that you have an issue with another girl, that we can communicate effectively to work through it. It's a girl being able to say who she is and have goals early on in life. Our boys and our girls have sports. We're doing more. We're showing more teamwork and showing what that looks like. But oftentimes, our girls were taught, you know, that you're going to go to school. Even back in the day, go to school to find a husband, not to find an education. But I Define Me girls knows who she is. She knows that she has a responsibility to be a keeper to her sister, but she also knows that she has purpose and goals in her life. And if you have a purpose and you have goals, then you don't fall for everything. You may fall, but you know how to get back up. And then, of course, you have keepers, you have other girls that collectively are pushing you to move forward. And so that's the value of being an I Define Me girl, period, on every level. And it does start elementary. We used to just start at middle school, but we all know now that our girls are very mature in some spaces and immature in others. And so we have to start younger than we used to help these girls to define themselves. For me, it was reading in the books. I loved reading. Like I fell in love with I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and by Dr. Maya Angelou. And I journaled very early on. My mom, she had to, you know, they didn't have the Title IX. They kicked her out of school and when she was pregnant, and she had to go to the library to get her GED. But she made sure that the library was in our house. So she was pouring into my cup even though others weren't pouring into hers. So I had that diary with the key so I could start dreaming. So we give our girls journals when they come into our programs, and we tell them to write and to really start defining and making your dreams a reality instead of allowing somebody else's negative nightmares or dreams or society's view of you to define you. because educational equity just ain't, it's not everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, it's not. It's not. To the leaders out there, and I'm looking in my camera at all of you. To the leaders out there, to the fam out there, I got a question for you based on what Tracy said in the beginning of her response. Prevention. What kind of prevention? What prevention measures do you have in place for your young ladies relative to everything that Tracy just said? What intervention measures do you have in place? And what awareness measures do you have in place? Said differently, are there prevention? Are there intervention? Are there awareness measures in place for your young lady? And I'm being very specific, Black girls population, right? Is what's in place right now, right? Got the mirror
Right.
up and just want you to kind of look within yourselves, your introspection, and ask yourselves, what do we have in place? Prevention, intervention, and awareness. So with that, Tracy, you developed the I Define Me pledge.
Mhm.
And I told you offline I was going to read it, but then I said, why? I don't need to read it because you created it. Could share the pledge with us. I have it here open up to the page 11, but share that pledge with us.
I sure will. You know, immediately triggers, as a licensed therapist, you get triggers, right? You're used to people's triggers, and you held up that mirror, and I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you where this took me back to. I don't know if a lot of people remember, but I used to watch Romper Room, and it would come on, and the lady would sit and she would call out all these people's names, and you're looking for her to say my name, like say my name.
Yeah,
And oftentimes our girls' names weren't being said. And I don't know why, but she never said my name. I never could just go and look for a little piece of paper or a little, something with your name.
yeah,
And so the pledge allows all of our girls to be able to say it collectively and understand the value of it. And our books, literally, this book specifically, I'm a keeper. I even wrote a letter for every line of the pledge so that when a girl says it, she knows why she's saying it. It's like when we were reading, when back in the day when they had things called album covers, and the lyrics were on the page, and you would read everything and you would know why you're singing what you're singing. Now we just say it and we don't even know why. And so it's important that when our girls say the I Define Me pledge, that they know why. But most importantly, that they can say it how they want to say it. So the pledge says, I am who I am. And it's like a call and response. I am unique. I am we. I represent unity. I am diversity. A mosaic of people live in me. I am my history, and my story is my legacy. My voice delivers solutions. My mind seeks knowledge, and my spirit flows with purpose. I am inspired. I am empowered. I am naturally me. I reflect positivity. I hold the key to my destiny, and it's all about me. I define me. And then all the girls say that collectively together. I define me. And that's
and,
it.
and then they sign the pledge below. You
Yes, they
know,
do.
my question, as these various different items here, are there any that particularly stand out for you personally?
When you think about the items that we have in our kits, are you talking about
The
line?
pledge itself, each line in
So
the pledge. Is
the,
there any
the
particular
line
line?
for me, the line that speaks to me most importantly is my voice delivers solutions.
Hmm.
Because oftentimes we look for solutions outside of ourselves when we have to understand that it is inside of us. We just got to seek it. We got to do the work so we can figure out what it is. And our girls oftentimes they have a voice, they want to express themselves, they just don't know how, or someone has shut their voices down. And we know the Ophelia complex tells you that at a certain age our girls lose their voices, or something in society has made you lose your voice. If you are familiar with I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, some things happened to Dr. Maya Angelou that caused her to stop
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
And so we want to make sure that your girls know that your voice delivers solutions. So that means you got to think about what you say before it comes out.
You know, for me, and I think that people that know me, they will know which one of these is the one that stood out for me. And it's very simple for me. I am my history. That's the
Yes.
one that resonates with me most. They all resonate with me. And then there was another one. My story is my legacy. And where's that other one? My mind seeks knowledge. Those are mine because they all speak to that whole historical cultural piece. And I've been saying for 30 some odd years that until Black children in particular can look in a mirror and recognize who that is historically speaking, then we're
Yes.
still going to be dealing with a lot of these issues 30 years later, 40, 50, 60 years later. But my history,
Mhm.
that thing resonates with me so much, and I'm just so happy that you have it in there because there's so many different directions that one could take that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um so now I want to look at the implications for the pledge with the leadership, with the fam that's watching now. In what ways can leaders out there watching, right, how can they make this pledge a part of their practice as leaders? What can they do?
Well, one of the things that we do, of course, we have our program. Our program is online, so every educator or school system or district can utilize our program because it's licensed, so they can get it that way. And then we actually have a kit. So, like for us, I want to keep it simple. So, like we have all of our books in a kit. We have a whole curriculum. They get the T-shirts. They get everything. And even with the pledge, we even have like this. We have I created the pledge cards, so when you have this pledge card, literally every single day, you can open it up, put it in a cup or a bowl, and the kid picks out an affirmation word every single day. So today, it might be that you picked out, I am who I am. And so therefore, there's an issue that's coming up in school, and you're having beef with another sister or brother. And I ask you, but what was your affirmation today, Angela? And you say, it's I am who I am. So if she's talking negative about you, why are you feeding into this when you know who you are? Or one day you might get, I am my history because somebody said something about my skin or about my lips or about my hair. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I know my history. I know where my lips come from. I know where my hair comes from. So as a result of that, you can't tell me nothing. But when we don't constantly feed those positive affirmations into our kids, into our educators on a daily basis, then they're going to come up empty.
Yeah, yeah. So you referenced the acronym, and I actually I'm on that page, on page 13, with that acronym. I just wanted to look at some of this. And before I do, I usually do this station break at 12 o'clock, right? So 12 Eastern. The AP and New Principals Academy is brought to you by the Assistant Principal Identity, protecting your leadership mindset, fervor, and authenticity. Get your copy at Amazon. It is brand new. There's the spelling of my name, Baruti Kafele. Get your copy along with all the other copies that are there, but all the other books that are there. But then I have a guest who has a whole library of her own. But the one I have in front of me, I Define Me Girl by Tracy Berry McGhee. And I've got this other one here, What's in Your Cup. Oh man,
Yes.
I don't play. I don't play. So, so I got What's in Your Cup here, and subtitle 101 Quotes and Affirmations for the Soul.
That's
Right.
it.
So
That's
get
it.
yourself a copy of both. And then when you put her name in the Amazon search, you'll see all the other books as well.
Yes.
Right.
I
So
literally that book right there, I created that during the pandemic, the What's in Your Cup, because every time I would ask people an affirmation word and people needed a table book. When I tell you educators are like, I need to fill up my cup every day, they just turn to the page and you're like, there it is.
there it is. That's
You.
powerful stuff.
Thank you.
Oh man, you know I don't play. So here we go, y'all. The I Define Me acronym. Do me a favor, Tracy. Read I am who I am, and then I got a question for you.
All right. I am who I am. Remember, no one can do you, boo. So, absolutely no one. You are unique. Your name, how you walk, dress, and rock it to the best of your ability is crucial because that is how you define you. I am who I am.
I am who I am. So my question, how do I define me when there's so much peer pressure for me to conform to? And leaders, I want you to listen to this in terms of your role in your schools with your young ladies, whether they be black young ladies or whomever young ladies. I want you to hear the question, the affirmation, the my question, and then also Tracy's response through that particular ear. Right. So again, how do I define me when there's so much peer pressure to conform to?
So, first off, when you think about the I am who I am, I often ask girls, I know who you are now because this is who you introduce you introduce yourself. I ask you, what's your name, your favorite color, all these things about you. But I also ask them, what is it that you've never tried before? Because there are times in our lives where the kids really don't like to try new things. So I want you, in defining yourself, to try something new. So when we start that first day of school and we have all these different activities lined up, I ask them to ask the parents to tell them, just try. If you never played basketball, try it. If you want to cheer, if you want to be a part of the book club, have as many activities as possible. And if there's any parents out there, you might say, my daughter's a part of Girl Scouts, or my girl's a part of Girls Inc. No, your daughter should be a part of everything possible that they can to feed them so that they can start defining who they are. Because this is not an overnight thing. We don't wake up and say, I know who I am who I am. It's a continuous struggle of trying to truly define yourself so that when someone says you can't be a part of my group, you're like, that's good because I know who I am. I am who I am. That's
I
important.
I am who I am. Tracy, read Dare Me, please.
Dare me to succeed. Dare me to do me. To rise every morning and reach for the sky. Our pledge states that I am diversity, a mosaic of people live in me. You can do more than one thing. Figure that thing out and do it. Try, and try again. And if you fail, get up and try again. But dare me.
So now I'm the young lady. How do I overcome the discouragement of setbacks? I didn't want to use the word failure, but the discouragement of setbacks.
Oftentimes we pull out the mirror and we tell the girls to tell me one thing that you love about yourself and one thing that you appreciate about yourself, not what you don't like about yourself. So we have to start teaching them to have the mindset of positivity. So when you talk about dare me, I'm like, I want you to do something that you've never done before. But also I dare you to say, I will not listen to what other people say to me. So when we pull out these affirmation cards on a daily basis, it's like that song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. The more you sing it, the more you want to let your light shine, right? And so as a result of that, we have to constantly show them, how do I pour into my cup on a daily basis?
Mm.
The mirror it's a whole, let me tell you something, Michelle. I'm looking at this. When I tell the girls to look at themselves, Kafele, some of them don't even want to look at themselves.
Look, yeah.
They don't, because all they know is what other people have talked to them about. So when you are that educator or that facilitator that's doing the circles, you have to truly let a girl know that you see them so that they can then see the beauty in themselves. Because oftentimes no one has saw them. They may have so many siblings that they're the good one. They're the one that read, the one that doesn't get in a lot of trouble, or they're the one that's so problematic that people always say something wrong with you, or you just like your daddy, or you just like your mama, or whatever they're saying to them, that no one has said anything positive to them. So you want to dare them to see the positivity in themselves.
Love it. Let's look at that E for education. Go ahead and read that one.
Education, we hear it all the time. Education is key. You hold the key, but you must unlock the doors. Not the door, but doors to your opportunities. And this means preparing for life, not just school, but read everything. Write your dreams down, set goals, be open to new things, and quit saying, I don't feel like doing it. Our parents are telling me, I asked her if she wanted to be a part of your program, and she said no. Why are you giving her a choice? at this stage of the game, she doesn't get a choice. You want to make sure that you're educating her. You're
Yeah.
pouring into her cup. You're unlocking doors for her. So it may not be that she may not like it in the beginning, but she won't know if she doesn't try it. So
Yeah.
education is not just at school. The library is at home. It's in the community. It's taking a walk. It's taking a train. It doesn't have to be a plane. It could be a bus. I mean, my mom was 15, but we might have took a train one way and a bus back, but there were so many ways that she could educate me in my community. And as educators, our community can be a resource to our children. So we definitely have to figure out, what does that look like when you're talking about education, because education is not just in a book, but it's a lot of beautiful things in books. But it has to be culturally relevant materials that they relate to, and it has to be interactive. All of our books are interactive. So the moment that they're reading it, they're also writing in it so that they can read it and ingest all of that. We can
So
just, in a song.
yeah. So let me ask you the question then. How and again, self-reflectively, how do I know of the unlimited doors, possibilities that are out there if my exposure to the world is limited?
Ooh, that's so hard. My exposure to the world was limited. And I don't feel like I'm special. I feel like I wanted more, and I wanted more because I didn't see it, but I read about it. I read about it in books that spoke to me,
Hmm.
and my community, the billboards, the people in the community oftentimes didn't speak to me. Sometimes it was my church or my grandmother, or reading the daily bread. But I think that what's important is that we show them the value of what you can do when you start dreaming. The Kafele dreaming is huge.
Yeah.
So we have to teach them, tell me what it is that you want to do. That's why everybody's so, big on vision boards. Okay, vision boards are cool for adults because you have vision. When I think about our girls, I want them to create I Define Me boards. And it's just not about the pictures, it's about the words. Because if I can see the words, now I can put myself in that space and figure out where I want to go. And then I can dream. There are certain spaces and places that I've never been before until I became an adult. But I still had that dream. We always like, I always wanted to go here. I always wanted to meet this person. Well, now we have Google, we have all kind of unique ways to see it and research it. And we're not teaching our kids to research. So they got to research. Once I say I want to be a doctor, do you know a doctor? Can we bring a doctor in to sit on the hot seat? Can we bring in a black doctor? Can we bring in a black female doctor?
Mm,
Because sometimes we've never seen anybody that look like us doing the things that we want to do.
yeah.
So the educators got to bring those people into the community for them to see. And I don't care if you just got, because I've been to places where they're like, well, I just got a few black girls. I only have one. So what are you saying about that one? So
Yeah.
you're not going to bring somebody in because you just got one? Really? It's not
Wow.
okay.
That's right. Not okay. You know, um, Folks out there, hit the share button, hit the retweet button. I got a couple more. Hit the share button, hit the retweet. Let them know we're still here. We're still here. When I put this together, when I was putting together my agenda, I said I'm not going to go through all of these, but your responses are so powerful, and I'm looking at what folks are saying as a result of your responses. So let me just keep going a little bit more. I'm not going to do every letter, but faith is an important one. So read faith for us.
Faith. Be a faith walker. Believe that the universe has all that you need. Believe in yourself and know that when God tells you to walk, run like the wind, for you are guaranteed to fly. Many times, we have a school-based and a community-based program. And, in schools, oftentimes you can't talk about faith, but you can definitely talk about your journey and talk about your faith walk. And you can be the testimony that your kids need to see. And so, in our community-based program, Kafele, we literally show them what a mustard seed looks like because they don't know. But they also know that faith is believing in yourself, something bigger than yourself. And that's what that collective unit. Everybody wants to wear the T-shirt that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. So the faith, the middle of faith is the I. You got to have faith in yourself that you can overcome obstacles. That's
So
huge.
yeah, so the response then, but Tracy, it's the young lady, I don't have reason to believe that I can fly based on my own circumstances. Help me.
I often talk to them, and I don't give them in-depth stories, but because it's really about them. Our kids are very egocentric. I tell them there were times in my life that I didn't. There were times that I shared the stories and the poetry pieces and the short stories. Because, unfortunately, our kids, their attention span is shorter than a TikTok. So
Hmm.
we have to show them examples of other people. This is where you bring in those history lessons. This is where you bring in Harriet, that movie, and break it down and show them where our strength comes from. Because when we're able to show them that, then we're able to lead by example. They just want to see it. Because if I believe if I can see it, then I can make it happen. And
Yeah.
oftentimes our kids haven't seen it. But then you can go back and tell them, go interview your grandmother and ask her, when's the last time she had faith? What does that look like? Or someone that they are a teacher. Have them interview every teacher. Ask them to give them one word that represents faith. Sometimes you can't see it in yourself. You got to see it in others.
Yeah. Folks,
Fortunately.
there is so much in this book, I Define Me Girl, that I'm feeling like I want to go through every page, and I can't, every item on every page, but I got to remember it's just an interview slash conversation. I'm gonna go one more, Tracy. The letter I, inspired, and then they got to get the book to read, NEM, naturally, me, enough, and me. But
Yeah.
go ahead and read Inspired.
Inspired, to be inspired, knowing that you have meaning and you need to let your light shine. Regardless of the situation, you got to rise up, inspire others, and be inspired by others who are walking a path of positivity.
Now,
That's the key.
let me ask you this question, but and this again, I'm just representing some, a young lady that I've had over the years in my school, in my classroom, whatever. But I feel so broken. Where do I find my light?
Yeah, yeah. And so many of the girls that we see are broken and are looking for their light. And that's when we tell them, you don't have to find your light. I see the light in you because you asked me the question, because you're here in my space. And I'm going to be that consistent piece of fabric in your big blanket that you can cover yourself and know that I'm here for you. They just need to know that someone is there for them. And whoever you are out there, you're that someone. So if it's one girl that I got to push her, you push her every single day. You push her when she got an attitude. You push her when she got a smile on her face. You push her when she looked like her boyfriend just broke up with her and the world is falling apart, or her mama or she didn't have enough food to eat, or she got on that hoodie that you feel you just push her when her hair looks good and when she don't look good. But you need to show her that I see the light in you.
Yeah,
And so that's where those affirmations come in. That's when you give her a book and you start pouring into her cup and you don't stop. You don't stop. You just don't stop.
you don't stop. Now it's 12:30 Eastern. I got a little more, little bit more, but I want folks to know how to reach you, because I know that there are folks that want to bring you to their school. So before we go to the final questions, how do they reach you?
You can reach me on all social media. You can Google I Define Me Movement. You can go to our website, I Define Me Movement, or NIAGroupSTL.com. The NIA means purpose, and so NIAGroupSTL.com encompasses everything. You can find our programs if you want to be a national program at your school, if you want us to come and speak, if you want us to do a girl assembly, a conference, if you actually want to get the kit so you have all the books, the t-shirt, and everything, you can find that on the website. Just Google my name, Tracy Berry McGhee, or the website. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Instagram. If you look me up on Instagram and Twitter, it's Soul Flower Sister with the A.
Yeah.
Sister with the A instead of ER. Yes.
And there's the spelling of her name. I'm almost done. I just want to make sure that we got that contact information in there. Hit the retweet, hit the share one more time, hit that like button too, folks, because I forgot to mention that earlier. That's how we manipulate those algorithms. So hit that like button. You talk about the define your mind. You talk about define your mind, and you break these up into the following: define your space, define your day, define your wusa, define your education, define change, and define you. I just wanted to focus on two in terms of time. When you say define your space, and for the folks out there that may have the book, I'm on page 18. I mean 18 and 19. When you say define your space, what do you say?
I'm really talking about um, the space that girls go into. Oftentimes, we may go into spaces that don't feel comfortable to us. Here in St. Louis, we still have what we call the DSEC program, where the wheels on the bus don't go round and round all through the town. So you got to go to the other side of town to get your education.
Yeah.
But you cannot allow the space that you go into to define you. So sometimes you got to walk in and define the space and know who you are. You don't have to go in boisterous and acting like I'm all that in a bag of chips, but know that you are all that in a bag of chips, but no one's better than you, that we are better collectively. But also define your space in regards to girls who may have their own room, or I'm an only child, so I did have my own room, but there are times where I just needed a corner, or I just needed my journal. So that means to keep your space full, empty from clutter. Like if you know that there are people that are part of negativity, girls that are bullying you, or girls that are always part of drama, then you can go and find new friendships. And there are times where you have to stand alone. So we want to teach them what that looks like. We want to teach them the type of clothes that you wear, and who you are when you walk into a space really does define you. I talk about being a brand, but I tell the girls, I shouldn't have to say, if I go on your social media, what will I find? And you like, give me a minute. I got to go delete this, and that.
Mm,
No, that's the space you live in. If you're living on social media, that's your space. And
yeah.
when I go in there and I see you dropping it like it's hot, I want to ask you why. Okay, we were just having fun, but do you really have to post everything that you do? If you know that if it questions you to have to say, I might need to delete that. Even as educators, there are times that we might want to say a whole lot, but we got to define the space and say, maybe that's not for everybody.
That's right.
I'll just keep that. I keep that in the house.
Powerful words, absolutely. And then the last one, of the six that you have here, define your day. What message are you conveying with that
I think that's important for educators as well as for our children, that they need to understand what order looks like, what consistency looks like, what organization looks like. They need to understand the value of being prepared, and how that looks from the moment you wake up and pick out your clothes, whether they're wearing a uniform, or uh, what does that look like? If I'm going to define my day, I'm going to get up. I know what I do. I put on my playlist. I make sure that I journal out what are the top 5 things I know I got to get done today. Everything else is just filling up the cup. But there's 5 things that I know I'm going to get today, my top 5. Yes, you have the power to choose what that looks like. And then how are you going to go about in your day? As well as how are you going to end your day? I don't just walk in the room and take my clothes off and just jump in the bed and be gone. I'm going to put myself to sleep and prepare for my next day. We have to teach our kids to prepare for the future, for their what next. If we don't teach them what that looks like, the world, society will prepare it for you. And we already know what educational equity looks like. We already know that there's a school to prison pipeline waiting for you. So we want to teach them how to prepare, because when I'm prepared, I might be off balance, but I have a plan B. When you go to catch the plane and they cancel or they shut the door because you didn't prepare to get there early, you got to prepare for plan B.
one? Yeah.
Am I going to go online? Am I going to get a car? Am I going to say I can't do it? But if you're not prepared, then you won't find success. So we have to teach our girls to be prepared, to have a plan A and a plan B.
I love it. There's so much there, so much more there. Again, folks, define your wusa, define your education, define change, define you. Someone just asked which book was I reading from, and I define me, girl.
Yes, yes.
Tracy
You can
Berry
get the
McGhee.
kit, and it'll have everything, all of the books come in the kit. So you get that on the site as well.
Go right to the
Kafele.
website, folks. Look, let's jump into these rapid fire bam questions. It's one sentence answer, one word answer, but no more. So whichever you choose, if it's one word, that's fine, one sentence. But once you find commas are being inserted, too much, right?
Got it.
Here
Got
we
it.
go. Is education on the right path for underserved children in America?
We're getting there. It's a progress. It's progress. Progress.
Are you optimistic about the educational prospects for the masses of Black and brown students in America?
I have to be. Yes, I am. I'm always going to be optimistic about our people.
Can true equity occur in America's schools for Black, brown, and other underserved students?
If more educators that look like them are part of the process, yes,
Does Tracy McGhee's work contribute to the progress we desperately need?
absolutely. I'm here for the long haul.
If you could do a reset on your life, would your line of work be different or the same?
It would be the same. It would
Why
be
do you
the same.
continue to do this work?
Because this is my assignment. This is the gift that God has given me, and I accept it.
What fires you up within the work that you do?
Empowering women and girls, and knowing that I'm leaving a legacy for my children and the children to come, locally, nationally, and globally.
What do you dislike about the work you do?
It's not enough time. It's not enough people who believe in the vision, and so it's a struggle, but I got to keep going.
What has been your greatest victory in this work to date?
The fact that I'm empowering girls locally, nationally, and globally, that my voice can be heard locally, nationally, and globally.
What has been your greatest mistake in this work?
Probably at times trying to be in more than one place at one time because I'm so passionate about it, but realizing that um, we all make mistakes, and it's about mentoring people on a whole so we all can get there collectively together.
What has been your greatest challenge in this work?
Time. It's never enough time.
Yeah.
It's never enough time. And but it's good work.
Who inspires you in this work?
My children, my daughters, and the other young girls out here who look like me.
Love it, love it. What are you reading right now? Any, like, in terms of book, blog, article, anything?
I'm reading We Want to Do More Than Survive by Bettina Love.
Yeah, she's got that new joint coming out. Punished for Dreaming, I think it's called. Coming out like in a matter of weeks. What book do you recommend for our viewers this afternoon?
I recommend that they can choose any of the books for our girls in the community to pour into their cups. I think that our books have value, and they need to constantly give them anything that is culturally relevant where they can see reflections of themselves, because that's so important.
What do you want to accomplish that you haven't accomplished yet?
I want to do worldwide conferences, and I want to do a tour where there's other women that look like me so our girls can see a variety of different women that can pour into them. And it's not just me, it's women who started something out of nothing. And they need to see that they can do that too.
Are you satisfied with where you are professionally right now?
I'm owning my now. I can't be anything but satisfied because I'm owning my now.
Last three. What could you say to a viewer out there who continues to face closed doors?
Don't stop. Don't stop. Knock the door down. If the door doesn't open, find another door. Be the door. Open the door for someone else, and someone else will pull you through. And when you get an opportunity to walk through the door, pull someone else through the door as well.
What could you say to a viewer out there who's lost their fire?
You know what? Find a mentor or find a space, and make sure that when you find that space, that person is ready to listen to you. Don't sit in it. Don't sit in negativity. Don't sit in a dark space. Get up and move. move, breathe air into yourself, and find a way to fill up your cup. Get the tools that are out there and use those tools. Don't just leave them on the shelf, but use the tools that you have. If you go to conferences, pull those bags out and read the materials and continue to pour into yourself. Don't ever, ever, ever give up on yourself. Because if you give up on yourself, then you're giving up on the legacy of what's to come. You have purpose if you're here. If you're breathing in the air, then be about it because you are on assignment. Don't give up on yourself. You got this.
Powerful. Lastly, if Tracy Berry McGhee was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Empoweringista. That's me. I'm here to empower, and that's it. That's my gift.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Tracy, I appreciate you for dropping all this knowledge, all these gems on the folks, on the fam that tune in. Hey, folks, you know how we do this. Let her know if it resonated with you, if the message was something useful, beneficial that you could use back at your schools in terms of how I define me, owning your own now, or owning your now, or Black girl empowerment. Then drop them emojis as I see them already here. Keep dropping those emojis, whatever your favorite emoji is. Let us see it as I get my giant size emoji out, my baseball bat, symbolizing that you hit the grand slam out the park every time you came to bat out there. I don't know what they still call that Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Yes,
it is man, hit it out the park. It went all the way to the arch, man. It was a long bomb.
I saw you at the arch. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, always,
show me state.
Always.
We the show me
state. That's my space. I don't know what it is, man. All right, look at it. Oh man, it's still coming. Appreciate y'all, man. This was powerful. Hey, Dr. Dinkins, you're on my list, man. I got you. You. You're on my list. And Donna, Bettina's on the list too. We've tried to get her for the summer, but she's so busy, so we going for the fall. But yeah, hey Tracy, powerful stuff. One more time, how can they reach you?
Thank you. They can Google I Define Me Movement. You can go to my website, IDefineMeMovement.com. You can find me on all social media platforms, Tracy Berry McGhee, with the hyphen and without.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey y'all, appreciate you being here. Let me just give you the rundown real quick. And again, Tracy, I appreciate you. Powerful stuff. I usually look at these again and read all the comments when I can take it in, as opposed to in this space. And you know something about that. I'm so focused on you with the interview that I can't process it the way I want to until I watch it later on or on a treadmill or something like that. And I can really take it all in. But hey, folks, appreciate you being here once again. Join me next week. I got a guest. I haven't met her yet. This is a rare time I haven't met my guest, so we'll meet when she comes on offline before we go online. Her name is Dr. Marcy Roan, and we'll discuss learning rounds. Once again, learning rounds with teachers building reflective practitioners. So join us for week 173, Dr. Marcy Roan, next week, same time. 10:55 Eastern. I think I'm in town for that one, so I'll be sitting right here. Next week, Sean Hurt will be back. So Facebook Live, Sean Hurt, 10 o'clock. Create and Educate with Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, 10:30. Unlock the Middle with my guy, Principal Josh Tovar and Dean Packard, 7 o'clock Sunday night. And Village Leadership Group with Dr. Roz Gaskins and her sister, Coach Williams, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6. Make sure you get your hands on the where am I going? The Assistant Principal Identity. Got something else on my mind. The Assistant Principal Identity, protecting your leadership mindset, fervor, and authenticity. And then while you're there, you might as well get these other three. The Assistant Principal 50, the Principal 50, and Is My School a Better School Because I Lead It? So you can get them all on Amazon, or if you're an ASCD member, go to ASCD. I just like Amazon because I can check the sales ranks. But either way, just get yourself a copy. Visit principalkafele.com for all my resources. Subscribe to the to the AP and New Principals Academy. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Just hit that red button and let's take it to 19,000. And then like and follow the AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page, right? I'll be writing those commentaries beginning in September again. I wrote like 101. I think I burnt myself out writing those commentaries every Sunday, and I stopped for the summer. But I'll be back in September, right? So make sure you're taking care of yourselves, folks. Your diet. I say it every week. Somebody asked me, they said, do you ever talk about diet? I said, you've obviously never watched this platform because I mentioned it for 172 now weeks. You know, just take care of your diet, y'all. Eat right. You are what you eat. So make sure that you eat right. You exercise, get it in. I've been going hard. I've been on the road all week, but I still got into those fitness rooms and those hotels and got the work in. I'm taking a me day today, no gym today, but I'll be in there tomorrow morning, right? And then I fly Monday and we'll get in there before my flight. And then, people think the COVID-19 is over, the pandemic, but the cases are back on an uptick, y'all, right? So, take care of you. That's all I'm going to say. Take care of you. Other than that, thanks for being here. Have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. Cock that fist back. 1, 2, 3. Bam! We'll see y'all next Saturday at 10:55 Eastern. Those of you starting school this week, have a great opening. And we'll see you next week so we can talk about it.